Hello and welcome back for another episode of Mario RPG. I believe this is number 9. And yeah, we're making our way. We've got 5 more episodes after this and we will have completed the game. It is not a complete playthrough. We are missing a few components or a few parts of it, but it was not done intentionally. I got to the end of it and then realized, hey, wait a minute. I think we missed a few things. But overall, you're going to get the complete scope of the Mario RPG experience through this video. That is, at least, that's my plan. That is my goal, is my dream, is my hope. And the last thing we did, if I'm not mistaken, it's been a week. It's been a week. We fought Johnny. Johnny. We fought the shark in the ship. We fought the shark in the ship. And we beat him. Or Davy Jones, maybe that's his name. I can't remember. It was under the ship. Remember the big squid, the shark, everything. And we just came out of there and we're back to the seaside town. So we're doing a little bit of management, item management. It looks like. Again, folks, I played this like 3,000 years ago. I'm thinking I actually played this probably within a month of when this was released. The Mario RPG remake or reimagined. Yeah, see, there we go. We just that was our battle. You saw a glimpse of there. So if you want to see that in all its glorious detail, believe me, there is a lot of glorious detail. Check that out. That was the previous episode, so that would be number 8 by my count. But anyway, here we are, forging forward. I don't know what's next. It's a big mystery, but we're gonna see something on the map. I'm sure that'll tell us where we need to go. So yeah, that's where we were out at the sea at the sunken ship. Or did we not do that? And I'm misremembering. And we fought the squid, but we didn't fight Johnny himself? I don't know. We'll get there, folks. We'll figure out what we're doing, what we did. I actually just got they did a pixel remaster, I think is what they call it, of the Final Fantasy series 1 through 6. Oh no, there we go. Okay. Alright, not so fast, sir. You friendly dogs have no code of honor. We'll make you walk the plank. So yeah, I guess we beat him, and then we bolted. See, and the weird thing is, you see, like, he's got eyes inside of the mouth. He looks like he's a shark, right? I mean, like he lives in the water, so he should be a shark. But it makes it look like he's wearing a shark costume over something that isn't. Yeah, like it's a guy wearing a shark costume or something. But Spiritovich, the mighty Spiritovich. Okay, yeah, legitimately mighty Spiritovich. He just took us all down, not to half health exactly, but pretty doggone close. It's a very picturesque landscape. I'm thinking, if I recall correctly, this is how the original frames it, or is staged with that sunset back there. But I'm guarantee, obviously, that because of the graphics, it didn't look nearly as picturesque. What a way to fight, and for what I'm pretty sure Spiritovich, what a way to die. 1300. Okay, that's when I crap my pants. I pushed X to crap pants because that is a lot of friggin' health points. Especially considering the amount of damage he's doing to us right here. Once again, wow. Yeah, look at that. I mean, just ridiculous. I don't remember how many times we ended up fighting this guy, but I think we'd need to switch to Peach or something, because we need the heals. And that's his weakness, it only does 42, and he's hitting us for 50? This is garbage. There we go, yes, good call, bringing Peach in. Group hug! I love you all! Mario! There, screw you. And that's all he's got is Water Blast. Like, do something different. So I think that's when I shifted to the strategy is, except for Mallow, because Mallow is so weak, and it's saying that that's the Spiritovich's weakness. I think my mentality is use Peach, save the Magica, or the Magic. I'm doing Tesla stuff. Save the Magic for Peach's turn. Let Mario just keep doing his physical attacks, And especially here, where you actually have multiple targets, really good there. Really good. Got some good damage in. And since we don't need her, I think it says succeed. I don't know. I think they're immune, maybe? Yeah, resistance. So that was a big old waste of magic. And I mean, it makes sense. Most of the bosses are going to be immune to that. But you got to try it. Because, I mean, goodness knows, how many times have you played a game and been completely stumped and like, how do I beat this thing? And you go online, you find out that the way to beat it is the cheap way that you didn't think you possibly could. It's like, oh no, Peach goes down. Actually, legitimately, that's a problem. Like, here we're going, okay, we're all in. We're only going to survive 2 more attacks, tops. We don't have enough time to revive, like, if we spend a turn reviving Peach just so that she can revive all of us, or heal all of us, because it's a revival, not a resurrect. Or it's heal, not revive, or resurrect or revive. So if you go down, her group hug doesn't do jack diddly squat. And I know we have pick-me-up colas, but that's really the hard time I have with RPGs. Usually by the end of them, I end up having a crap ton of really high-end spells or potions or items because I think I need to save them for when the game gets really rough, and then I just have way too many because I've just been stockpiling them because I'm afraid to use them and get in a boss fight later on where I desperately need that one thing. I think it's rock candy is like one of the most powerful ones in this game, if I'm remembering correctly. And you only get like 3 of them. I think I've only ever had like 3. So I held on. I might have actually used those for the final boss. I remember on Super Nintendo this being a lot harder, that final boss. I feel like I fought against him 3 or 4 times. Or there's 1 or 2 bosses in here that I just remember having to like time after time after. Yeah, it was a grueling process. We haven't really experienced that to my recollection in this playthrough, and I don't think we ever really experience it too many times in the future. But there we go. Get that sad sack out of there. Bring Bowser in. Now, I'm also looking, and I probably shouldn't be because it wasn't in the original, I'm also looking at the group special. Now, I guarantee you right now, I was not doing the math, so I have no idea. Just like now, I have no idea how much more he's got left. I feel like each turn we do about 100. And I don't know what turn we're on. I don't think it tells you anywhere in this. I don't know if any RPGs do. They ever tell you how many turns you've gone? I think it'd be nice, for those epic battles where you're grinding it out and it takes like half an hour, how many turns that actually was. Granted, I think the in real life time is what is either the most impressive, but more so the most relevant. Like, how long did it take you? The game is turns, but that also doesn't tell you how long it took you to sift through what you wanted to do, what you needed to do, and your stratagems and your pros and cons, your evaluation of the situation, and your opponent's strengths and your party's durability. There we go. Down. I think you're with me. After those first 2 turns, I wasn't expecting to beat this in the first try. Certainly, maybe several tries later. But we handled it like a pro. Johnny and his minions are gone. I love it. What horrible surprises might he have in store for our heroes? And the music's like dip-a-dip-a-dee, dip-a-dip-a-doo. By the way, my praise rod, higher giant axe is probably one of Smithy's, but my gills are failing on me, so I'll be headed back down, dropping one every time. Yeah, so Jonathan Johnny Jones, I think that was the name. But yeah, I didn't think of that before, but you saw the big eyes on the shark, which were not like a dog's eyes; they were yellow. But then he had the little more evil-looking eyes in the mouth. It's like, wait, are you actually a shark? Because sharks don't have eyes in their mouths. They also don't walk on their fins. They also don't really come up on land all that often, voluntarily. They don't carry spears. You know, they don't have opposable thumbs. It's typically harder for them to brandish weapons. So, I mean, this game is really starting to fall apart. The realism, the immersion is just like slipping away. I'm unable to enjoy this game now because it is just so very unrealistic. Speaking of unrealistic, fun fact, there was well, not a fun fact, an interesting quasi-conversation. It wasn't an actual conversation. It was a comment section, which those are always fun. Yeah, Mario, I love that. I don't know if that's in the original either, but I appreciate that, where it's like, the game's like, don't go here. You're not, why are you here? This is stupid. Maybe you came here by mistake. If you didn't, it's still a mistake, so let's go somewhere else. I wish more games would do that. Like, they'd let you do it if you want to. Like, if you just want to farm, or you just want to try out your thing and you're sure that's where you need to go, but that the game would kind of hint, hey, you're kind of beating up the wrong tree. Like, even in, like, if you go to another village, like if you think, oh my gosh, I left an item in another village, and you start talking to the villagers, that they should say something like, how's the quest going? Have you gotten to wherever yet? You know, or just kind of remind you. And if everybody's essentially saying, go west, young man, or why are you here, or, you know, what's going on? I've done that a few games, and I'll go around to, like, the different NPCs, like, what am I supposed to do? And all of them are saying, you know, I can't wait to hear news of your victory. I'm like, okay, clearly they have nothing else to offer me. I should be making progress elsewhere. I should not be coming back here unless or until I've beaten the game. And that's kind of true to life too. To me, that's not really false. Like, if you were on this epic quest and you go back to this village, and now if one of the villagers is like, you know, I'm still waiting on that potion, or I'm still waiting on that thing, or you know, was it too hard to find? Like, I think you can find really cool dialogue that would be realistic for an NPC to say to someone who you've given a quest to, and it's been a while. And you're like, I thought you forgot about me. Do you have do you have that item? And you say no, and he's like, oh, all right, well, way to get my hopes up. You know, just you can give them personality, have them respond, be more despondent or something. So as long as there's one saying that, then you know, okay, there's still something for me to do here. It may not be what to progress the game, but at least it reminds you that there's something for you to do there. Whereas everybody in the village says, why are you here? You were here like 6 weeks ago. Aren't you, like, the big guy is going to kill us all? Like, why are you back here now? Did you beat him? Oh, I love that. Okay. I thought all she did was give him that little head nod, or that little twerk, when he said, I'd never kidnap someone and keep him prisoner. And she goes, it's like, really? That's a bit of gaslighting there, isn't it? Well, no. See, in that case, I think gaslighting comes down to intention. He was just lying. He was just, or maybe wasn't even. He was being hypocritical. Gaslighting is intentionally lying to someone to reframe reality, or reframe their memory and make them seem like they're the ones who screwed up. You know, like if I said, you know, we're on episode 10. Now, you thought this was 9? I never said that it was 9. I said it was 10. Why weren't you paying attention? Something like that. That would be gaslighting. I'm lying, but it's done with the intention of rewriting your recollection to align with what I want it to be, and then making you feel like you're crazy for thinking I didn't. But of course, this is a video. You could just rewind and go, nope, he definitely said episode 9. And that's a lot of the problem with the interwebs, I think, in modern technology, modern design. As long as people are willing, it's unfortunate that researching skills have kind of gone by the wayside ever since the library stopped becoming the hub for research. But if you're willing to do a little bit of the research, most of the time you can find what was actually said and done in a variety of places. And so it's a little bit harder for people, anybody who's a little incredulous, or anybody who has an inkling in the back of the mind going, I think I don't remember it going that way exactly. And sometimes you get the Mandela effect where everybody thinks it was a certain thing, like the classic, it's Berenstein Bear. We all thought it was the Berenstein Bears, or it's the Burstein. I don't even remember what the actual thing is, but we always thought it was the Berenstein Bears, the Bernstein Bears. Maybe we thought it was the Bernstein. but it's actually the Bearstein, or I don't know. It's not a pronunciation thing. It's actually a spelling thing. But, you know, where a large group of the population thinks it's one thing, and it turns out to be something else. That's... So you can have that on a personal level. You're like, I could have sworn they said this, but yeah, you go back and you actually... It's really a gut punch when you go back and read an actual quote, or like a video, something where there's no possible way that another source could have it more right than this one, because it's actually what that person said, or it's, you know, it's... Yeah, unless they completely, purposefully screwed up the quote. It's not like a blog that's saying, oh, so-and-so once said this. It's like, well, they're paraphrasing, or they may not have it right. But you go back to the direct quote, or it's pulled from the actual book. Like, oh, dang. I could have sworn that word was in there, but it wasn't. And that's kind of my whole, like, the crux of my argument. So I guess I kind of have to back off that now. Which is fine. As long as you do, as long as you are willing to go, okay, does this change my point? Does this change what I believe about the situation? And if it does, well, you want to be aligned with truth. Always aligned with truth. No matter how ugly it is, and no matter how much it doesn't align with what you want it to be, it's always important to prioritize the truth. Because most of the time it is going to be, well, no, all the time it's better than a lie. And even the ones that we think, oh, well, actually we're helping somebody by lying, we're sparing their feelings, in the long run, it is not the case. It's never beneficial to, like, just outright lie to somebody. It's gonna bite you in the butt somehow. Even if that biting in the butt means the next time you lie, because now you have one less barrier to your integrity, one less you go from, like, I will never lie to, okay, I only lie when it's good for the other person, and then I only lie when it's probably better for the other person, then I only lie when it's getting me out of a difficult place and it's really not going to hurt the other person. It just devolves, so if nothing else, that's kind of the downside. It's more subtle and long term, but it's always there. That said, if somebody said, hey, I'm going to give $1 million to anybody who's never played Mario RPG before, well, even then, I mean, it would be, the temptation would be there. I'm thinking more a situation where your life is on the line. But I don't want to go macabre and say anybody who's played Mario, I'm going to do something to. I don't want to go there. But it would be something like that. And you go, okay, well, at that point, it's worth it to me to lie because this person's going to end my life if I don't. So let's just go ahead and say that I did. Mario's thinking deep thoughts. These are the thoughts that Mario's thinking right now. I guarantee you. He's like, he's all right. What do I shut it? What? Good thing I do not lie. Good thing I say nothing. Good thing I just shake my head and run around and jump on things. It's a very good thing. But now, what was I doing? What was I going to do? I think it's just a good day to be outside getting some vitamin D. I'm gonna stand here for apparently a little while, and I'm tempted. So this is the first time I'm doing. You may have noticed we didn't fade in. It's exponentially faster to do these where I'm doing my commentary while I'm watching it versus, well, commentary while I'm watching, but I was doing it where I'd use the old school card in the camera, SD, record it on the camera, record my visual on the camera, record audio through OBS, and I have the game already saved as its own file. And then when I was done, I would match them up, do the fade in, fade outs, and then render it out, and then have to run it through a compression software to make it, especially an hour and a half long video. They come out of Premiere at like 20 megabytes, which is way too big for YouTube, or way too big for YouTube that's not 4K. I don't know how exactly that works. All I know is it says your video must be 15 gigabytes or less. And I think I accidentally exited out because of the stupid thing shot me the wrong way. I did. So I'm going back in. I can figure this out, I seem to say. This is ridiculous. I need the time of this better. Boom. There we go. Not so hard. Okay, well. I've decided to make this hard. I've decided to make this I've made this molehill a mountain. I don't know what. Oh, because there's hidden treasure. I'm pretty sure it's on that yellow block. I'm probably not wrong. There we go. Okay, I was wrong. And tell you what, I'm not happy right now. Like, really? I did all that and nothing. Okay. That's what you said last time. Because I shot myself straight up in the air. Yes, I'm just going crazy. Where is it? Where is it? I want the hidden treasure. How cool is it? How crucial is it that I have it? Obviously, if it's hidden... Well, I shouldn't say obviously. More than likely, if it's a hidden treasure, you don't have to have it to beat the game, but I guarantee it's going to help. It can't hurt. I think it's down that little pit. Whoa, what's going on here? I thought There we go. Well, that's not a hidden treasure. Those are hidden enemies. And yeah, I think that's... Oh, no, there he is. Okay, I was going to say, we had 3 of them, but we only see 1 of them here, but there's at least 1. I thought all the enemies were not the enemies that we saw on the screen previously. Oh, I don't think we've done it yet, have we? There's a whole quicksand type level with those little ant guys that we go through that is kind of a pain in the butt. In theory, you could do this forever, but it's like it was weird because every time I miss the button press, I think, oh, that must have been as far as you could go. Oh my god, she just threw kicks at us. You know the cereal kicks, the little corn balls. That's what those look like. Those were kicks. I'm sure it wasn't flower pollen. That would be disgusting. We've got to level up. Oh no, we don't. Also, completely off topic. Turns out, actually, Andor is not a bad series. I had zero interest. I'm one of these. You only have to burn me once for me to go. Okay, never. You know, we're done. And Force Awakens was pretty much that for me. I was like, you know, they would have to do something really awesome in Last Jedi or whatever the next Star Wars movie is to redeem The Force Awakens. Because I thought it was just creatively devoid. I thought it set up a lot of really bad. A lot of bad things for the series. I was getting a lot of product of its time kind of thing. And after what I heard about TLJ, and then ended up watching a lot of videos on it, like pretty much got the plot outline, saw what the script was. It was like, nope, I'm done. So I wasn't going to touch anything else that Disney cranked out in terms of Star Wars. I did on, let's see, there have been 2 exceptions. One was Mandalorian, at least I think it's season 1. Maybe it was season 2. Anyway, I just wanted to put that out there for if you're looking for a show to watch. Obviously, I don't recommend Disney Plus. I think that'd be a waste of money, but you can get the Blu-ray used for like $15 if you want to go Blu-ray. DVD would be even cheaper, and then you own it forever and ever. But yeah, if you're looking for a good series, Andor is, and you don't even have to be a Star Wars fan. There's very little, like, other than the design of some of the blasters, some TIE fighters. I mean, there's some common visual elements from Star Wars, but there's no Jedi, there's no lightsaber, there's not even a reference to a Jedi. This is 5 years before the Battle of Yavin, so we are, the Jedi are at this point extinct, or believed to be. Luke has not had his moment, his call to action, his call to adventure yet. Obi-Wan's still hiding out on Tatooine. Dance! There we go. Let's get the party started. And you do see a shuttle Tidarian, which I was very stoked about, because the first time we see it is in Return of the Jedi, but I don't, it didn't seem like it was minted at that point. It definitely fit the aesthetics really well. Like, it just had a really cool, Imperial vibe. The way the Empire, because we don't really see a lot of the Empire in Empire Strikes Back. Like, in terms of, the first second when you have the Death Star, it's actually like a base. The Empire has a base versus just a Star Destroyer. And then in Return of the Jedi, you have a Super Star Destroyer. So most of your characters are always, bad guys are always in. The Emperor's, Vader hits the Death Star early at the very opening the opening of the movie. The Emperor joins him. Darth Vader's now on the Super Star Destroyer. She's seeing more of like Imperial trappings, whereas in Empire they were, you know, pursuing. So you had some Star Destroyer stuff, but there was no base per se. And so, you know, you get to see a little bit more of the Empire's stuff in Jedi, for lack of a better term. I don't know how I got on that particular thing. Just to say, I thought I'd throw that out there. It's worth a shot. It is not without its hiccups. It has about 2 or 3 minutes of don't need this content in there, and one speech that's a little bit long, but I think it's followed almost immediately by a speech that's damn near perfect, and the way it's delivered is amazing. So it's kind of like, all right, went a little ham on one speech, but you nailed the second one, so it's a wash. But anyway, that's all I'll say. I'm going to do the next Borderlands playthrough after this. I might talk about that more. For some reason, Star Wars discussion seems more apropos for Borderlands than it does for Mario. So that's all I'll say about that. We're back to them dancing. We're just kicking butt and taking names. And this is one of those times where I do think my patent pending methodology of play first, comment later does work. I think the happy medium, obviously you have streaming, and I think that's when, you know, it's all done together, which is fine. But after that, I think the best thing is play it that morning, and then maybe that afternoon or evening do the commentary. So you still remember what was in the episode. You can still talk about what it was versus having to rely on just talking about things in general. You can actually be very specific to what's going on in the game. But if you do want to get off on a tangent, or if you're going to talk about something else, you can go down rabbit holes mentally and stick with them and stick with the story and not have to worry about, especially in times like this where you're finding your way through. You're not really advancing the plot. You're just kind of grinding through some battles. But you know, if it was linear, that's not a problem. Like doing commentary with the side scroller is not a big deal because it makes sense. Or not, it makes sense. The side scrolling doesn't require you to do a lot of mental unless you're playing Metroid or Super Metroid, in which case you got to be paying attention to what you're doing, where you're going, where you've been. Otherwise, you'll just run around shooting stuff and hearing the creepy music forever. We're just leveling up all over the place, and it's now Peach's turn. See, this is the thing. I tell you what, she's so endearing in this. I mean, as far as a character goes, she just seems all nice and everything. And then the Peach from the Mario Brothers movie, the 2023 one, she's obnoxious. There's nothing sweet, nothing compassionate about her. She treats Mario like crap. And somehow that's seen as a good thing. It's like, oh yeah, no, she's I don't know. It's guy or girl, you can be awesome and not be a jerk, or not act like you're awesome. Not make it very clear that you think you're awesome. All right, so now I've realized we need to go up somehow. I've missed the ascension, and we must go back and ascend, and hopefully I'm ascending. But my point being, with this format, this right here is requiring its own mental processes. Not necessarily the fight, but just trying to navigate and figure out where I'm supposed to go. And then if the fight does ratchet up a little bit, or if it's going for too long, I need to adjust my strategy, and that would require me to pause, because that's how I know when I'm streaming. Sometimes I'll be talking about something or talking to the folks that are hanging with me, and then I'll get to a place where I'm like, okay, and I just kind of hunker down, and for like 2 minutes I'm just hyper focused on what's going on the screen, and then I go back. There's nothing wrong with that, but I kind of prefer to be able to do that all the time, to be as hyper focused as possible, trying to figure stuff out, and then just be able to talk about it a little bit later. So, you live and learn. There we go. Okay, I was like, wait a minute. This shouldn't be that hard. And I'm guessing the developers knew that because of the particular view that we have of this, it's going to be difficult to get those jumps down. Because if it was a side scroll, it'd be super easy. You could probably jump, skip every other one. But if I'm not mistaken, we make it across. Okay, I'm ambitious. I'm ambitious. I'm very confident in my abilities. And that's when I realized, whoops. And that's a pretty good. Okay. Oh no, I thought. Oh come on, I was gonna say I think I do it at least once. Do I really just give it? What am I doing? That was it. That was. Oh maybe. Oh you know what? I'm trying to see if there's because I'm trying to move forward. I'm not trying to do side quests right now. I'm just like, hey, how do I advance the story? Yeah, anytime I'm jumping... Oh, no. Okay, there I was actually trying to figure out, okay, how do I get you to take me up? All right, they're working in cahoots. We're getting scammed. We're getting bamboozled here by these two no-faced ghosty with their little curled shoes. And I'm just... It's harder than it looks, dagnabbit. Don't judge me. I'm an awesome platformer. I'm just not really good with non-depth perception. I mean, and they're just pillaging. And the reason I keep saying expert is because it's the nature of the jump that I'm having a problem with, not the amount of bullet bills. So that was frustrating. It looks so easy as I'm doing it. I'm like, oh, I got this, no problem. Like I'll get there easily. And then it's like, no, that's every jump requires you to go up and diagonal a specific degree. It's pretty difficult. I don't know. I mean, yeah. And so I keep sticking with this expert because I'm not. It's not the bullets. Well, the one time the bullet gave me the problem. The last time through, here I'm just going to take it slow and steady, nice and easy. Oh, see, I almost missed that one. And see, I was all patient. I was patient right up into the last second, and I was like, all right, let me just get this over with. And it cost me everything. So I've blown what 20, 30 coins at this point. Frog coins. They're not easy to come by. I'm not even paying attention to my reserves. I don't know how many. I could say, yeah, let's go again. He's like, nope, sorry, you don't have the frog coins. Oof. Oh, that's right. They start to shake too if you stay on them too long. I'd like to say I was doing this for amusement. I was doing this as a showman to be like, hey, how funny is this? Look at me screwing up. But no, this was me starting to get kind of peeved. I was saying peeved and well, I was gonna fatigued is what I was trying to say, but so anybody who's seen some of my streams, especially Katana Zero and what's the other one that really the Elder Scrolls Legends streams, when it's live, it is much harder to keep it reined in. Now, I typically don't edit my videos. I don't edit out pieces of it. One, because it takes too long, because you have to go through and be like, okay, where was that part where I lost my brain? Most of the time, but for whatever reason, when I'm doing a video, it's easier for me to keep a level head, especially because, especially if I'm watching it like this. But man, I'll tell you, when I was playing, I was probably letting out some expletives. And I am one of these guys. I'm okay with expletives as long as I'm in control of it. If they're just coming out on their own, that to me says there's a problem, because you should always have control over your tongue. You should always be able to control what you're saying. So, if I'm for comedic effects, because there's some movies and some shows where like the punchline is funnier because all right, I don't know what happened there. I don't know if the monitor just kicked out for a second or something happened with the gameplay. I think it was the gameplay. I'll have to watch and see if that happened again. But your eyes did not deceive you. We went to a black screen for a second. Hopefully that is not hopefully that's in the recording and not... I'll have to look back at it. and not something that's happening now that one of my monitors is on the fritz. That's the thing with technology. I tell you, especially when you've got so many moving pieces, you get everything and it's working fine for, you know, a day or two, maybe 3. You're like, oh, this is so nice. Like, it's been a while since I booted up OBS and had to, you know, oh, look at me go. Like, I had to overcome so much. Probably should wait till I finish before I exalt myself. But, you know, yeah, when you got so many moving pieces, you're like at OBS, you've got your camera thing you're trying to work. I actually had my camera decide randomly for like 3 days. My camera was just, I'm gonna lag. Like I didn't have to be streaming or recording if it was, you know, whether it was an OBS or just a video program. The webcam, the camera was just like, you know, dropping half the frames. And so here's me kind of going, wait, did I? See, I really believe that I should be able to get in there. And like, why would it be there if you can't go in? So that was a complete waste of our collective time. My time back then. Well, hopefully I've enriched your lives with whatever I was blabbing about for the past 3 minutes, 5 minutes, however long that took me to get there. But I swear, it really looked like we just spent 5 frog coins to get 1 frog coin. I mean, ostensibly, because it actually took, because we went through it so many times, it actually cost us probably 40 frog coins to get 1. Take that, I'll beat you with my itty bitty little crooked sticky thing. Yeah, as I recall, I think I remember that black screen while I was playing. I was very... It made me nervous. Because with Switch games, you know, cartridges, I mean, granted, there's software in there, but it's still stored, a lot of it is still stored on the cartridge. That's why I don't have to have a giant memory card in the Switch, because I have... Most of the games are still stored on a cart. And so when you have if the screen goes black, or if there's trouble loading the game, like Cuphead, for whatever reason, the port that was done for it, sometimes the loading screen hiccups and jitters or whatever for a second before pushing on. And at that point, you know, like this is a hard-baked thing, and there's not going to be an update for it, really. I mean, they do have updates for some of these games sometimes, but generally you're kind of stuck with what you got. The only downside to this is I don't know exactly how long the game is. I have a general sense, this video, before I started it, I have a general sense of how long it is. So I'll probably end my spiel a little before it's actually over. But hopefully we find a nice, logical place. Oh! Yeah, I was like, wait, don't these platforms shake and fall? So I think my thought was, I'll get on there, it'll fall down, I'll jump off of that into the cave mouth. And here, this is the place that I was talking about, those little ants. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Because you got to try to go down you got to figure out which whirlpools to go down. And then once you do, you've got to get in there before it battles you. Because if it battles you, it pretty much kicks you back out. You don't get to go in. Aha! Screw you, fungi spike. How a bee is able to turn me into a mushroom with its stinger is beyond me. Like I said, this game just breaks all kinds of reality. And who would have thought a sentient marshmallow or cloud wouldn't miss a... I like how the little bee that kind of curls up, does a little fetal position, it kind of tucks its little arms in. It's, oh, I'm so dead. Oh, I'm so dead. It does like a... Well, it's not, I guess it wouldn't be a fetal position. It goes into cocoon or larvae position. That's it. And it does. It gets more tiny and you know, a little... Weird. So yeah, this is going to be a bit of a slog, as I recall. This is where we need to be. Go back. Or Yeah. And I don't remember if there's a... You see how that... He pops his head out, pops back in. And that's not necessarily guaranteed that's when you're supposed to go in. I don't know if there's any indicators of where you're supposed to be. But this looks new. We got Shy Guys with, well, Bidents. Is that the right word? So you got Trident, or Trident is a three-pronged giant fork. So if it just has two forks, is that just called a fork, or is that called a Bident? These are the great mysteries that you don't think of when you're playing the game. You're fighting for your life. You're fighting for survival. But I'm here to bring you those deep, thought-provoking questions that keep you up at night. And I can appreciate. I think Gino is really the only one out of the three, aside from when Mallow does his lightning storm, right? When he's doing his lightning storm, we're using like non-lethal attacks. I mean, yeah, Mario jumping on your head, but he's probably got some weight to him. But I mean, Shy Guys, they don't even have a neck, and who knows what kind of padding they have, or helmets they got on under those hoods. So while it could be considered cruel, we're using non-lethal weapons. Gino, though, most of his attacks are firepower of some kind. He's using military-grade arm cannon things. Yeah, that's when I first learned. Okay, you got to get down there at the right time because these little guys are going to guard you. I mean, okay. To be fair, if somebody smacked me over the head with a mallet, probably dead. I mean, depending. It comes down to how strong they are, which will determine how big and how heavy the mallet can be. Because it's for anybody to swing it with like that mallet, like if Mario, if we saw him like walk up and he was dragging it behind him, and you see him kind of do this, like where he throws all his weight into getting it up, and then you see him bring it down. Then it's like, okay, that mallet weighs a crap ton. But with the ease to which he wields it, it makes it look like it weighs probably, maybe the whole thing, 20 pounds, 15, 20 pounds. That can still do something, but that's 20 pounds over a much bigger area. It's not like a barbell, where if you hit something with a barbell, like it's a very small object. It's got all that weight behind it. I mean, who am I kidding? It would still hurt. It would hurt. I just don't know that it would do. I'm just trying to figure out if we're like what we're up against when we're fighting these enemies that actually hold spears. These are skewering objects. These are objects with pointy tips. And they poke us, and we take 1 damage from it. How do you take 1 damage from a poke? Like if it breaks your skin, like I mean, those are huge. They're not like little pinpricks. Like that thing hits you. That's probably the size of a. Oh, it's bigger than a pencil. Imagine getting skewered by a pencil. Okay, good. I'm glad they called it formless. Otherwise, I was like, oh, good, the game is glitched out. Weakness, fire, and ice. What a peculiar set of weaknesses, isn't it? You'd think it'd be one or the other. Alright, so I do apologize. You're going to see a little something on the screen here as I... okay, 57 and a half minutes. Alright. I just wanted to know when it was going to stop, just so that I didn't get cut off in mid-sentence. But if it does happen, I just understand it's a live recording for all intents and purposes. So if it cuts me off in mid-sentence, I'll finish my thought on the next video. I probably won't, but just know it's not on purpose. I'll do my best to wrap it up before the video ends. And I like the wind-up on that for Mario that reaches back. We haven't seen much of that attack. I haven't used that very often. I'm not sure why. I think it's expensive. I'll have to look at the price again. I think it's like 7 flower points, and it rarely does enough damage to warrant that. I mean, look at that, 190? And that's your retort, huh? 48. Big whoop. There we go. Nice way to get us healed before we got into another confrontation. Good heads-up play there by me. Past me. Present me appreciates past me's forward thinking. Have we been here before? Perhaps not, but there's really nowhere else to go. So yeah, it's just kind of a, looks like a housing or a temporary, a midpoint. We're in the middle of our journey to wherever it is we're trying to go. And there, your little turd jumped out right as we were trying to jump in there and paid the price. Now I have to fight these. For a second I was like, wait, they have mohawks? But no, it's their helmets. They have kind of like Roman-esque helmets where they've got the plume. Are they called plumes? I think the plumes are more fuzzy. They're more like knights. Knights had plumes. I think these are more... I don't know. I'm really not sure what you'd call those. But they have them. Multicolored. They had them. They're all dead now. I killed them. My party. We had no mercy. Alright, I'm ready to be done with this part of the game, so let's hope that we get out of here pretty soon. Trust me, back then, past me and present me can agree. Alright, we're kind of done doing the whole, like... Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on there, but that's... And we're back to the... Yeah, it's just... Okay, so clearly that's not the right one. But I keep going back into it. Why did I go back into it? We know where that one goes. Yeah. There may be a pattern here. There may be some way to actually know where you're going or what you're doing. But as you can see, I am having a difficult time finding it. That's not where we want to go. I think I'm getting sucked in. I'm not going in there on purpose. I think I'm realizing that little turret is actually... Yeah, there we go. He was hiding. That's why we could jump on him and get the coins instead of jumping into a battle with him. He was barring the way that we need to go. So we should be straight after this. Aha. Always satisfying to get a block in. But yeah, so I'm interested to see. So I'm going to start that on Tuesday. I think Tuesdays are going to become my RPG days. Whatever I'm just going to be playing different RPGs. I'd started Chrono Trigger. I should probably be playing that one again. But I kind of want to start at the beginning. I want to appreciate it more. And I think that'll help if I start with Final Fantasy 1, which graphically and in so many ways is rougher because it came out so much earlier. Come here, you shifty little jackass. No, yep, there's me. I mean, I'm grateful for getting the coins. Did he just... Yeah, I mean, you may be screaming your head off going, dude, just go down here. Just do this. I was having the hardest time figuring out what the heck to do. And honestly... Oh, no, up on the right. We have a way out. I just saw it. Hopefully I see that. I'm pretty sure I do. And this is one of the best things about RPGs in general as a rule. Unlike like Ninja Gaiden, where when enemies respawn or you have to go back and they spawn again, and all you're doing is risking more death. Here, even though no, it's up there. It's up there. Just go out the... Oh no, I didn't see it. Oh. Okay. I was smarter then than I am now. That's a good sign, right? That I was smarter like 6 months ago than I am today. I was paying attention back then. You see, I knew where I had been. That's the difference. But yeah, RPGs, it's now granted, at a certain point, the experience points you get are negligible compared with the amount of time you spend. You're no longer in risk of dying, but you're like, I want to get to where I need to be. Stopping me every 5 seconds. But as a rule, you're never wasting your time. You're always getting a little bit of experience. And even though there's some where the cost to benefit in terms of the amount of time you're spending isn't great, it's still there. You're still getting reaping some reward from it. I'm glad they're dancing. I've always wanted to dance to this, and it's a very peculiar thing. Like, I always think like Mexican, or, some kind of Latin American type music, which you don't hear anywhere else in the game, really. It's like sometimes games will have a musical theme. It'll be like, oh, this is kind of like got a Celtic, folksy vibe to it, and so like all the music kind of sounds like that. I like Katana Zero. All the music has this. I don't know how to describe it. Like, is it EDM? I don't know. It's a very moody, very edgy, rockish type thing. But all the music is pretty much that vibe. Some of it's more upbeat, some of it's more sedated, but it's all in that genre. Mario is kind of, it's not all over the place, but it's definitely, there's no particular theme as far as I can tell, which isn't always a bad thing. Alright, so I'm guessing our playthrough, or this episode, is going to end with us fighting Balom, or Balami, the big yellow doggy type thing. Essentially the big version of what we saw, the little knocker, little things where they push their tongue in their mouth. There's a much bigger creature. So either we're going to end on a cliffhanger right before we get to him, or... Nope, we're going to fight him right here and now, folks. Here you go. The showdown of showdowns! Mario and team versus the bad trampoline. Do not be baited by the trampoline. Your foe lies elsewhere. I could do this all day. Ah, dang it. Yay, I'm starting to earn back all the frog points I blew on that one stupid game that didn't have anything. Aww. I'm not lucky. That was Bloom saying he is not accepting visitors past his bedtime, which I'm led to believe means he's not there. Yeah, no, we just get the big statue. I don't have a key. I swear, if Mario just would take one of those blocks back and patent the technology, I mean, all the elevators in the world would be replaced by mechanicalist, or simplified. Well, here's the thing. I would say simplified and safer, but if you don't know how they work, they just seem to just work. You really can't rely on them, can you? Because you don't know what would make them stop, or what to do if they were to stop. So while initially you would think that would be a much better replacement for an elevator because it doesn't have pulleys, it doesn't have the brakes, doesn't seem to need any of that. It just magically moves up and down on its own power. Not knowing exactly how or why is... There we go. Time to battle. Below me. Oh, I just heard that sound. Or Belom. Belom. And there's a fart cloud up in the air. It is gone now. And there he is. If I recall correctly, he actually will eat your party. Like, he'll eat different people. Be like, oh, this is so delicious. Oh. Leading off the fight with something that you couldn't actually do in the original seems to be a little weak sauce, but I think I wanted to make sure that I didn't lose this one. Because I was kind of done with the session. Or ready to be done. Yeah. Or maybe I just hadn't used one in a while. I don't know. Usually I try to avoid things that make the game like artificially easier. If the game, I mean, to be fair, that is a mechanic in this new version. It wasn't in the old one, so you couldn't use it, but it is here. It's not a cheat. It's not something that you're abusing. The game says, hey, you dodged this many times or you defend yourself this many times, you get rewarded by a team attack. And as long as it's in the game, I don't have anything wrong with it. But the purist in me, the part of me going, hey, I want to have the Mario RPG experience, the original Mario RPG experience, just with the better graphics. Says, why am I using this attack that didn't exist before? Yeah, that's really okay. I forgot he spits her back out. Okay, and yeah. So really kind of creepy stuff here. You can tell she's got those dead eyes. You can tell that's the fake Peach over there. Did I try to put him to sleep again? Did I not realize you can't do that against a boss? I think I was just being optimistic. I am Optimist Prime. And I've come to use attacks that probably won't work. That looks like, oh yeah, that did some good damage. See, I was a little confused because I was pretty sure that fight was going to last a while. But it didn't. True story. Get a little bit of hand holding here. We didn't need a creature to tell us where the pipe was going, but here we are. I think already off the jump. Well, one, I'm looking for a save point, but I'm also, I think, like one of those doors leads to like the hardest boss in the game, which is kind of like a. I don't remember if you can. Well, maybe you can't access it until later, or you can access it now and you just get your butt kicked. It's like, hey, come back anytime, but you're going to be fighting like the big bad. Okay. That's it. All right. So I forgot I can go as long as I need to. But anyway, that's this episode, and we'll probably be doing it in this format in the future just to make things a little more streamlined. But thanks for watching this episode 9, sorry. There we go, of Mario RPG. I'll see you for the next one.